guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Chess with Sanjay. In this video I am going to teach you about how to play chess if you are a beginner and wants to learn how to play chess. This is the video you have to look into. Okay, let me just give you a brief overview about chess. Chess is a game between two individuals. One is white army and the other one is black army, and where white tries to arrest the black king and black tries to arrest the white king using all its army, and each of these pieces has unique names, and I'll be explaining about this in the further steps. Okay, this game is played on a 8 into 8 64 squares, and 32 squares are white and 32 squares are black. This piece is called as a rook, where it moves in straight directions, up, down, right and left. It can move any number of squares as long as it is not blocked by any other pieces. And you can see I'll adjust the pieces in its direction of movement. Rook can capture this pawn, this pawn, this pawn, this pawn. When it is in this square, okay, it can directly capture this pawn, but it cannot capture this pawn directly because this pawn is blocking this pawn. That's why it can capture like this. If you want to clear, it can clear like this. I think we are good with the rook. Let's go with bishop. This piece is called as bishop. Bishop can only move in diagonal directions. It is actually represent the movement of x. If you can observe, it can, this movement is actually replicating x, the letter x. Okay, if in the starting position, if bishop is in light square, it should always move in light squares itself. It cannot go jump to other squares. It can only, throughout the game, it can only move to light squares. Wherever it goes, it can only go to light squares if it starts its position with light square. But if it starts with its position with the dark square, it should always move in dark squares like this. Same goes with the black's pieces as well. This bishop should always move in in light squares, and this bishop should always move in dark squares. Yes, similar to this, it can capture, it can move any number of squares, it can capture any pieces on the direction of its attack, that is diagonals. Okay, and let's go with knight. Knight has a special moment. It moves in L shape. It goes 2 steps forward and 1 step to left or right. It forms a L shape like this. It can go forward, it can go to left, as well as it can go forward, it can go backwards, and go to left or right. The knight can move in L leg. The resemblance of this knight's movement is actually looks like L. You have to remember it should only jump 3 squares. You should always remember it should only jump 3 squares at a time, and the knight does not worry about any other pieces getting on its way. It can jump and reach its direction, but it is not same as the rook. Rook cannot move forward after if this bishop is blocking the rook. here, and the pieces are suppose blocking its way, it can actually move move out of the jump out of this squares and go to its desirable positions like this. 1 2 3. Okay, let's go with the queen. Queen has the combined power of bishop and the rook. It can move in any direction in any number of squares. It can move in straight direction as well as in diagonals. This is the strongest piece on board, and yeah, this will help you to maneuver your game in the desirable format. Okay, the queen can move here to here as well and here to here as well. Move in straight directions, moves in diagonals. If you place your queen on center, it can actually go in 8 directions at a time. Okay, this is good. Then we can go with the king. King is the most important piece on board. King is the most important piece on board. It is similar to the queen, but it can only move in one step at a time. The queen can go any number of squares, but the king can go only one square at a time. These are the squares where the king can move in its next step. Okay, so this is called the pawn. This is called the pawn. Pawn can go one step forward at a time. Always it moves in one step forward at a time. And when a pawn wants to capture any other piece, it should be in its diagonally one step like this. It can capture only in this direction. If any pieces come in front of this pawn like this, the pawn can no longer move forward. Even though it can go one step forward, since the bishop is blocking this pawn, it cannot capture the bishop. It can only capture the pieces which are in its diagonal one step forward diagonal directions like this. If the rook was there, then the pawn can capture it, but if the bishop is here, it cannot go forward, but it can capture the piece like this. And the pawn always moves one step forward, except in the starting position. When pawn has not moved yet, we can move 2 steps. This goes with every pawn. Every pawn on its first step go 2 steps, but it is not mandatory goes to goes 2 steps. The pawn can go move in one step as well. Now this pawn can capture this pawn. This pawn can capture this pawn. You have to remember, this pawn cannot capture backwards. This pawn cannot capture backwards. Like this. This is how the capturing works with pawns. Yes. And if this pawn reaches, let's say, the end of the board, then you can actually promote this pawn to any of these 3 pieces: queen, these 4 pieces: queen, rook, bishop, and knight. Usually, always people try to make a queen. This is called as queening as well. Uh, there are few basic rules you have to understand before starting the game. This is an online board. They have set the board correctly, but if you are playing in an offline board, you have to remember that the right corner square of 2 players should always be white. If you flip the board as well, for black also the right corner square should be white, and also for white player as well, the right corner square should be white. This is how we avoid confusion how to set the board. And you can see here there are alphabets written on these squares and numbers written on these squares. Okay, these alphabetical uh, lines, these are called as files: A file, B file, C file, D file, E file, up to H file, as well as these 1, 2, 3 are called as ranks: first rank, second rank, third rank, and eighth rank. Always, if you're playing with white, this is goes from left to right. If you write A B C D in on a book, you name it like this as well: A B C D, like this. They have named it accordingly, A B C D. And from white's perspective, they have named the rank 1, 2, 3 as, in the ascending order as well. This is for naming each square uniquely, and this is actually a simple and effective way to avoid confusion and understand the each square's position. This is called E4, the name of the file and name of the rank. So it can identify this one. This is actually works similar to a graph, but instead of using numbers both sides, we are using alphabets so that it will be easier for us to remember. Like this. This is called C5. Understanding? This is A1. Similarly, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. Like that as well. B1, B2, B3, B4. Like that. H1, H2, H3. And we can also see that this is H1, G1, H1, G1, F1, E1, like that. We can name this as E6. Okay, this is about the notation part. Okay, this is the starting position. As I was mentioning, king is the most important piece on the board. Whenever there is a threat to the king, you have to save the king. That is called that is the basic rule in chess. And if you are attacking the king, that particular move is called as a check. You can see here, if moves like this and I move my queen to d5, queen to h5. This is the queen was on d1, it moved to h5. Queen on h5 is actually attacking the king on e8, e8, right? Hence, I am giving a warning to my opponent saying that I am going to capture your king in the next move, so you have to save your king. And you can save your king in 3 steps. By the 3 steps, I'll explain you in this situation. Let's say the king was here and there were 3 pawns here, and I'm giving a check here. Yeah, I'm giving a check here. Okay, my rook was here, I gave a check here. Now, yeah, one way of escaping the check is moving the king to a safe square. Now the rook cannot no longer check this king. Now the rook is no longer attacking this king, so hence the king is safe. And the other way is you can block the check using your piece. You block the rook's attack on the king using your bishop. And the third one is you can, if possible, you can capture this rook using your piece, any of your piece. Any of this one method is can be used to avoid uh, to overcome check. Okay, so this was the position, and let's say it was something like this, and the rook was here and give a check here. Now the king can no longer escape to any safe squares. Here if the king moves to f8 or the king moves to h8, this rook is still attacking those squares. Hence this, and also you can no longer block the check with any of your pieces within these squares, and you cannot also capture this rook with any of your pieces This position is called as checkmate. Here white wins and black loses. Now this is the idea of winning in chess by checkmating your opponent. There are other ways and how to win the game. I'll explain that in further videos. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video completely. If you find this video helpful and if you want to support me, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. uh, I'll make more contents like this in future. Until then, bye bye.